Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jumpa lagi dengan Aktivitas channel di KM 1 ya guys, di Halim untuk menuju ke arah Cikampek ya. Di siang hari ini agak mendung guys, cuaca dari daerah Halim dan sekitarnya ya, Jakarta Timur. Daily briefing aktivitas harian ya guys, arah ke kampung. Simpangan Cikunir guys. Inilah simpangan Cikunir yang simpangan lingkar luar atau lingkar luar ya guys.
이 상태에서 이렇게 친단 말이야. 이게 못 쓰니. 내 낙이 어디 제가 갖다 떼어버리게. 원래 이거 아니야? 이거 아니야? 그치? 원래 이렇게 될걸? 딱식이? 근데 테이프 뭐 드는 거야? 내려놓고 코도 이렇게 잡았거든. 그럼 백도 잡아놓고 지금 내가 여기서 칠 거야 하면 뒤로 돌아서 때려야 되잖아. 그지? 여기도 마찬가지야. 내가 여기서 잡으면 자꾸 때려야 되는 게 맞는 거지. 근데 테이프를 여기서 놓고 이렇게 이렇게 치는 게 맞는데 이렇게 치려고. 옆으로 가서 앞으로 그러면 스윙이 안 되지. 스윙이 해야 되는데 희한하게 저기서 주잖아? 희한하게 그것도 지금 볼이 지금 몇 개야? 내가 어디서 칠 거야? 그게 쭉 잡아놓고 쭉 당겨보고 아니 잡아 여기 오잖아. 가만히 쭉 와서
Every time you have a return to serve, you get smacked in the face. Well, you know what? You do it because you don't know these 5 secret tips that every pro uses to hit an effective serve return in doubles, and today I'm going to teach you. Our first step to hitting great serve returns, a high contact point. Why? Well, isn't it obvious? Low contact point means you're hitting upwards, and high contact point means you're hitting downwards. And in doubles, you never want to be hitting upwards on a serve return because you're giving away the attack. You also want to be setting up with nasty pushes, right, downwards so you can get the attack. So high contact point, how do we do this? High contact points near you and high points near the net. If your opponent does have a good serve, the only way to get a high contact point is to get it when the shuttlecock is near the net. Because by the time it travels to you, the bird would have already dropped and you're in a lifted position. So number 1, contact point is very important. You want to be getting to the contact as close to the net as possible so that every shot you hit will be going downwards. Our number 2 secret tip is the push-up of your foot. Now most of you, when you're playing, all you're doing is just, as you're serving, not stepping at all, or hitting, and then, because as they serve, you want to be pushing up as quick so you can reach to the front as quick as possible. So you want to be timing when you think they'll be serving with your momentum on your left foot, and then from there, boom, push off and get that high contact point. Our third tip is going to be our position on court. Now, of course, imagine we're starting our serve return position here. We're going to be getting our shot quite low. So the closer we can stand to the net, if we can't even stand right on the line, then we're going to be very close to the net and be able to get that very high contact point at the net. Now, there is one condition to hitting or standing close to the front of the net, and that condition is that when they do flick serve you, you have this ability to come up with one jump to cover the back with an attack. So one, if you want to have a good positioning forwards, you have to master your positioning and movement backwards. Our 4th secret tip is the ability to do trick shots. When you're doing serve, return, serve, receive on doubles, usually when you come up, you don't have much time. All your swings are very short. What that means is it's quick, but it's also very obvious. When you come like this, most of the time, boom, you'll be hitting that way, and your opponent will be standing on that side already. Now, because of how obvious shorter swing shots are, it's important to have trick shot varieties. Either we go boom, cross push, or we go boom, boom, like that, net, right? To have that variety in trick shots is gonna make it hard for your opponent to want to lean too much on the shot before you hit. So have that variety with trick shots. And our last tip for you, serve returns don't end in one shot. Oftentimes, what you can do at your level though, if you're watching this video, is you can kill your opponent in 2 or 3 shots. So why this is called serve and return is after you return, boom, where are you hitting, boom, and what are you setting up for? You have to understand what each shot is going to do. If I'm going to be hitting the nets, then I'm expecting the net again, kill. If I'm going to be pushing to the center right, I expect them to drive cross, come here, boom, kill. Your serve return is to set up your next 2 shots for you to win the point. Now that you learned all these secret tips, I expect your serve returns to be perfect each time. And from now on, you come back to this video and comment every time so you can have the comment of shame.
You're still on the fastest route.
So you've watched our 16 types of trick shots video, which is over 1.1 million views now. So that means you either really like trick shots or you really like 16 types of things. So we decided to make a really bad guess to make this video 16 types of smashes. Starting with our easiest smash first, the basic smash. For this smash, what we want to do is position us into the 1, 2, 3 movement. So 1 is our bow and arrow shooting upwards, 2 is our elbow forward, and 3 is our 45-degree contact point coming downwards, using our chest, our forearm, our wrist, and our fingers to bring everything down using around 80% power. This is what it looks like. Our second smash is going to be the tap smash. What that's going to be is very similar to the first smash where we do our 1 bow and arrow, 2 into our secondary position. But the difference on the tap smash is you're focusing a lot more in your forearm, wrist, and fingers on a quick snap. That's going to be much less of a swing, but much more angled and much more controlled. So instead of doing this full swing through and using more of your chest to bring it straight down, you're going to come here, 1, 2, and last one, pop, just do a snap. So you don't have to follow all the way through, but make sure after you do your snap, your momentum is still going forward. Yeah. Smash is going to be the slice smash. How you're going to do this shot is starting with our 1 first, into our 2. Now this shot's going to be all about contact point. For this, you kind of have to imagine if this is the bird, that you're wrapping around the bird. So that you still have forward momentum, but you're also slicing the bird and curving it to reduce the speed. So your shot's going to come 1, 2, and then on contact point, hit first, and then wrap around it to have that shot go crosswards. This is what it looks like. Our fourth shot is going to be the reverse slice smash. So again, we go 1, 2, but this time instead of wrapping inwards, we're going to go wrapping outwards. Now why is this harder? It's because of our grip. We have to supplement this by moving our grip more into a panhandle. By moving our grip into a panhandle, the racket face is now more out. And instead of turning our wrist out, we have to use our fingers to rotate outwards. So when the shot comes on our 3, we hit it straight, and then using our fingers and the to rotate outwards so that the shot can slice in the opposite direction. Our fifth smash is going to be the coveted jump smash. Now what's going to be different is our footwork and our expansion. So what we're doing is
so this is how it feels like when getting this flat serve from Kevin Chumuju.
In today's do's and don'ts video, we are taking a look at doubles net play and how to get better around the net. In this first mistake, we see players hit a good net return off a serve or a good net shot and then just duck and have the racket out. This makes intercepting what we call a poke or a push past impossible and means our partner will need to cover everything else. What we should be doing is firstly getting our racket up so we can be best prepared to quickly intercept, and secondly looking to anticipate this return by getting our feet ready quickly and maybe even leaning back to give us a little bit extra time to execute the shot. If this forces our opponent to lift, then great, because you've set up your partner the chance to attack. It's worth being prepared to intercept every time, because even if we only get 1 or 2 of these per game, it's worth it, because that could be the difference between 20 all and you winning 21-19. Our next mistake we see players make around the net is playing every net like a singles net with our strings facing the ceiling. This is sometimes a good option if you've got a gap at the net, because it forces a higher lift as a shuttle will drop closer to the net. If our opponent is at or pressuring the net, this could get us in a lot of trouble or cost us the point, as this way of playing the shot makes the shuttle higher above the net. We'll see in these next few examples that this not only gives our opponent time to kill our shot, but also makes it more predictable we're going to hit into the net. If our strings are facing up, our opponent knows we can no longer hit a flat shot, but only a net or lift, and the net player can move in to attack. When around the net, we should be looking to play a doubles net. This means preparing with our racket head above the hand. This allows us to look more attacking, but more importantly, play our shots flatter and closer to the net. With practice, we can even get our shots to consistently hit the net and go over. We do this by doing what I call a brush down action on the shuttle. This puts the shuttle in an upside down position by the time it gets to the net, and because the weight is in the cork, this will mean it hits the net and goes over, making it super difficult for our opponent to return. Coming in with our racket head up makes it look more attacking, keeping our opponent off the net, as they might be looking to intercept a flat return, and this could be a shot they are not expecting. Using this technique allows us to keep the shuttle tight to the net, harder for our opponent to counter-attack off of, and if they try, we're able to potentially anticipate this and look to intercept. Even if our opponent tries a cross net, we should have time and be ready enough to move across and attack. Even if they don't play the net, or they see we are ready at the front, this might force them to lift. Don't worry, as this is exactly what we want, as we are setting up our partner an opportunity to apply pressure from the back. You'll see here how Daryl is playing an attacking push into the tram lines and recovering to the mid. This leaves an easy gap straight down the line for our opponent to exploit and put some pressure onto our partner. This mistake the net player is making is not linking their shots together. What we mean is playing an attacking shot and not really thinking about what the next shot might be. This often means we're just standing at the front and every shot is flying past us, leaving our under pressure partner to get everything else. Yes, we can more easily cover the cross court from here, but it's often more difficult for our opponent to cross if we've played an attacking push into the tramline area. Now knowing it's hard for our opponent to cross the shuttle, we can prepare and anticipate the straight return down the line by bringing the racket up, leaning back and moving our base slightly across. We know our partner has the lift covered. It's hard for our opponent to cross, and they might not want to play back to the net because we're already there. So this is often the most common return you might see, and therefore great to expect this shot down the line. If our opponent does try to cross, we should be in a decent enough position like Daryl is here to still take the shuttle early, but the opposition has also opened up the court for our next shot to help us maintain the attack. If they play soft back to the net, we should have enough time to change grips if needed and step in to attack the next shot. Getting our position right here, linking our shots together and anticipating the next shot will bring you into the rallies and make you a force around the net in your doubles matches. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more similar content, then please click here to subscribe, and here are 2 similar videos you'll In today's do's and don'ts video, we're going to take a close look at some much requested doubles, and more specifically, defensive position. And the first mistake here is being directly side by side when the shuttle is in either backboard. This will leave a gap on our cross court that our opponents can exploit, because they can hit faster and steeper due to the angles. It also doesn't allow us to capitalise on any crosswalk shots. There's also another mistake here, when hitting a good lift into either back corner that you might be able to spot. We'll come to that later. The side-on view helps us see
Oke guys, terima
what we
kasih.
should be doing
Assalamualaikum
as the cross
warahmatullahi
player,
wabarakatuh.
and that is being slightly closer to the net.
Jangan lupa like, comment, dan subscribe.
This is because we have more time to defend the smash, because the cross smash is a longer distance and allows us to cover and potentially exploit a drop. And if we get